So tell me, how did you come up with the name Lizzy and the Palm?
Whoa, man. Well, my middle name is Marie de la Palme.
Mm-hmm.
Marie de la Palme is the name of my mom. It's my family name, and my mom is French, so this is gonna be a big question. My mom is French, and so I have like a lot of French family, and since I was a kid, I've been like going to visit them.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I just like loved it over there, and it was the first thing that kind of got me out of Orange County and made me see like a different way of life, and then when it kind of came time to pick a name, I felt, oh wait, I skipped a part. This is like a 4-part question. I really need to like organize this question in my head because it's such a beast of an explanation. But okay, so that's part 1 is like my family. Part 2 is for a long time. Okay, so I really didn't like growing up in Orange County, and for a long time after I left, I was like, every time I saw palm trees, I just thought I would get like this shudder of like, oh man, you know, Newport Beach, and so I really didn't like palm trees for a while, but eventually I kind of came to discover that like my bad experiences like made me who I am as well. So it's kind of like another piece of the puzzle of me, you know, like the love of my family and like this step out into the world, and like I just have a really loving family. Like they really just nurtured the heck out of me.
Yeah.
And I just, like, so many people don't have that.
Yeah.
To grow up in like this cradle of love, it makes a big difference. And yeah, but that combined with like this, I don't know, it seemed to be like palm seemed to have these 2 like opposite meanings for me, but they both really made me who I am. And then when the time came to pick my my name, my like artist name, I was kind of thinking like, well, Lizzy Mulroy. I didn't want to be Lizzy Mulroy because it doesn't have a nice ring to it.
Yeah.
And Lizzy de la Palme, I was kind of like, I don't know, it's maybe, but it's a little bougie of me, you know. De la Palme, actually, you know, it's a little kind of fancy. And then, but I really felt like since I started writing songs, I felt like I had like a muse, and I felt like the songs were just delivered to me. I felt like I wasn't writing a song. I felt like I was just being the messenger for a song, and I really felt like I needed to give credit to this like other source. I watched this TED Talk by Elizabeth Gilbert, who wrote Eat, Pray, Love, and she was like talking in her TED Talk about the huge pressure that she felt after she like released that, because it turned into this freak success, and she was like, how can I ever beat that? Like nobody will, you know, all my other books are gonna suck, and they don't know. Like people have no idea that I'm just like a loser. And she was talking about like how in the olden days, I don't know how old, but back ways sometime, people didn't call a person a genius. They would say like an artist has a genius, and that it is their genius that works together with the artist and like helps them, feeds them inspiration.
Like an extension of themselves?
Like a magical creature.
Okay.
like a muse, you know?
Yeah.
And that artists like had a genius, and when I think she was talking about how I think like she thought this was a lot better for the mental health of an artist too, because in our society so many artists are just like go off the rails.
Yeah.
All of them, you know.
Too much fame, too much fast.
Yeah, there's this whole 27 Club, everybody gets addicted to drugs, or you know, they get these crazy benders, and she was saying like this is like a better way to think about a genius, or genius in general, because it's not all this pressure on one person, you know, like that's too much pressure for one human, and all these artists say that. Like I saw this interview of Michael Jackson, and he was talking about when he started writing Beat It, and he was like, I just heard it, like I just put on my tape recorder and started singing it, and then you hear him like on this 4-track looper singing every part. He was singing the bass line and the drums, and he was like, I just heard it and I just sang it, and I feel like it felt really important to me to like put that in place in my name to safeguard myself from myself, because my ego would crush me if I like thought I was so great as to write these great songs that I feel like they're really great songs. I mean, I love the songs that I'm writing. They're just beautiful, but they really don't. I'm like, how can I do that? They're. I feel like people need. I needed that growing up. I needed that to have spirit, to have this like magical element be a solid part of my life, and to not be like ashamed of that, you know. And so I needed to put it in my name to like ground me, you know.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, so there's the 3-4 part answer.
There you go.
So your first question.
Yeah. Was it was like music always a part of your childhood, or like when did you first start learning how to read and write music?
Yeah, my dad is a musician. My dad is a composer of musical theater.
No way.
Yeah,
Okay.
He's really, really good. He wrote a musical about surfing.
About surfing?
60s, yeah.
Oh, surfing.
Like surfing.
Okay.
Yeah, it takes place in the 60s, and it's like this golden age of surfing in California, and it's just so beautiful. Oh my gosh, his music is so good, and he's been working on it for like 40 years. You know, this one musical, and he's crafted it to perfection. It's amazing. So I grew up listening to his music, singing his music, yeah, he plays piano, he plays guitar, he sings. You know, he's not a singer, but he sings.
Yeah.
My mom was singing in the choir, and she was actually the choir director for a bit, or not the director, I guess, but for like a a kind of like a small mass, a small French mass. She would be the cantor. Is that what that's called? Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
So and she's a dancer, so I was always around like music and art.
Yeah, so it was just like destined for you.
Yeah. I came out singing. Doctor smacked me in the butt.
Yeah. I don't know. What was like the first instrument or first tune that you remember singing or playing an instrument?
First instrument. Well, we have a piano in my house, but I wouldn't say that's like my instrument. I do really love it, but I didn't get very far with it. I started kind of teaching myself guitar and ukulele when I was like 15 or 16. I think. Yeah. I would like go to school with my guitar, and I could only play like 4 chords, but I thought it was so cool because I had a guitar, so I would like make a point of going to school and then practicing like 10 minutes in the in between classes.
Yeah.
But at least I could carry a guitar all day with me, and people were like,
it's like a cool flex.
yeah, it's such a flex, yeah. So and it was like my dad's like vintage, Gibson, mahogany, blah blah blah. So I was like, pop it out, and everybody was like, ooh, what's that? Yeah. And then I just slowly kind of started, playing a little more, and I think like, yeah, I've always been singing though. I did musical theater in high school.
Okay.
So like an arts high school, and did that very properly.
Nice.
But yeah, it was kind of an intense world, so I got out of it. And
You said you went to a musical art school? Was it OSHA?
yeah, I went to OSHA.
Okay, how's that? I've
Yeah,
like,
it was
never
really
met anyone
intense.
there.
Yeah, it's really intense. It was really nice. It was very, it's weird. It's like a whole bubble. You don't do anything else except for OSHA when you go to OSHA.
Yeah.
Like, OSHA is your world. So it was pretty all-consuming, but I had some great teachers. Ironically, my greatest teacher was in math, but he kind of like changed my perception of limitations and stuff like that, because I thought I was bad at math, and then I became good at math, and that was
there you go.
the biggest lesson ever.
Yeah, it's nice when teachers like can kind of reinstall that like belief in you and yourself, and then kind of like make you
yeah, for sure.
because I felt like that way in English.
Yeah.
In high school, bad English teachers, and then I got to college, and it was like, you're actually just wrong writing. I was like, what? Oh shit! And then, like now I write like blogs and stuff, so I'm like, okay, cool. Shout out to that teacher.
Yeah, that's
professor.
amazing.
Yeah,
that's like the real job of a teacher. Is like to see the seed inside of somebody and just like water it, and it's and to like let them do it themselves. Not just most teachers like kind of give you the answer. No, you don't. I want to find it out for myself. Like, that's what gives you confidence.
So at OSHA, is everyone required to like have some sort of like artistic elective? Because I don't. Never been there.
You have to like audition for a conservatory. Yeah. There's 15, 12, something like that, conservatories.
Mm-hmm.
There's classical dance and creative writing, musical theater and guitar, all these things.
Mm-hmm.
And you audition for one, come with your little portfolio or your sheet music, and sing a song, or two, do a monologue or whatever. And you, you get accepted or you don't,
Mm-hmm.
and then you do like from 8 to 2, you do like academic classes, and then at 2 to 5 you do arts classes.
Okay, dang. So pretty much a full day.
Yeah. It's a pretty full day. And then if you're in musical theater, sometimes you have like rehearsal or dance. Dancers also have rehearsal, and so it can get to pretty long days. I would be pretty much at school till like 8 o'clock.
There you go.
A lot of the time.
8?
Yeah, it was a lot. That's why I say it was like it's your whole world. So it's weird when you get out of it.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a whole other world out here. I didn't know.
Yeah. What was your, what do you call them? Contemporaries?
Oh, conservatories.
Conservatories. What was your conservatory?
Musical theater.
Okay.
Yeah. I was with the theater kids.
There you go.
I was a theater kid. Yeah, we would all just harmonize Disney songs in the hallway. Like, actually, though, it's not an exaggeration.
Okay.
Yeah, it was great. Disney writes such good songs. It feels so good to like sing them with your whole heart, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Looking back at your high school experience, what was like some of your favorite theaters or plays that you got to put on?
We did Les Mis, and that was amazing. I would like cry every rehearsal because it's such a devastating story, but it was it was so beautiful. The music is so beautiful. We did a show called Once on This Island. That was really nice, kind of Caribbean, and that was a lot of ensemble singing. It's really, really special to like sing in the ensemble. You know, everybody learns like their parts, and I think singing in harmony is like the most beautiful thing in the world. Like in the world is harmonizing for the people. And I feel like everybody can, and everybody is supposed to sing in groups. You know, like back in the olden days, those vaguely olden days. I think people, you know, all did sing together, and it's so heart filling. Like it's so necessary, and super healing. So so that was a really good experience. Was like to have, you know, singing with like 30 people all singing the same words and in perfect harmony. Everybody's in pitch, and it's beautiful. It's like really, it was cool. Costumes, and, you know, being really dramatic in the background. I was always like an ensemble person. I never was a star character. But it's funny to be in the background. You can they tell you to say like peas and carrots, like to mouth to lip. You know, just go in the back. Looks like you're fake talking, but in the background, you know, like in the scenery. And so people will get into like elaborate, you know, situations, and nobody really sees it, but it's very fun.
There you go. How many plays would you guys have like on average during the year?
2, I think.
Okay, so just one fall, one spring.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
I think so. There was like one big one in the fall, a musical, I think, and then there would be like play in the spring. Can't really remember. Yeah, I think like one a year. Yeah, there was like one big musical a year. Everybody would wait. Anticipation. What's the musical this year?
There you go.
Yeah.
Now you mentioned earlier that you weren't a fan of living in Orange County. Was that like what kind of age did you realize that hit you?
Man, I remember like really young looking in National Geographic and being like shocked at how colorful it was. And I was like, why is this so beautiful? Like people are wearing these bright red and golden things, and we're all like, these boxes here. Like everybody's in these beige boxes, and everything looks the same. And you know, like as I mentioned, I had the fortune to go to France and a lot of summers of my childhood, and just see like how different things were. And I remember like really early on being to my mom like, why did you come to America? It's so ugly and everything's so beige, and like I don't know. But I really distinctly remember being like 5 or something and looking at National Geographic and being like, I want to go where there's these colors. Like, why are there no colors here? Everybody's just wearing black. No. Well, not everybody. You're right.
Yeah. I try to stand out a little bit.
But you see these like Kenyan women and like, it's just gorgeous. It's so beautiful. And people aren't afraid to be like colorful.
Right. That's the biggest thing. I remember even I went to Sacramento State for college, and meeting a lot of international students. A lot of them dress very colorful.
Yeah.
And you could just easily like, after a while, like you kind of tell. And like even when I moved back home to Orange County, I met like one person at the bar, and like I could just tell like they were like not from here.
Yeah,
and it turned out that person was from Peru.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, like just the colors. And
Yeah.
like, really? And I was like, yeah, like people don't dress like that colorful here, you know?
And they don't have like this. I feel like there's less like kind of self-consciousness, you know. I feel like people are just they're just like, I'm a human, like what are you? Yeah, of course. Yeah, I feel like there's so much, you know, like rigid perfection here. Yeah. Okay.
So where you said your mom's side of the family's from France? What part of France?
Well, her three sisters, they grew up in Grenoble, in the mountains. So they grew up, you know, in a very naturey place with an outhouse and everything, and like a well, I think. But her sisters now live in Paris. She has three sisters. And my mom, she came to New York when she was like 18 or 19 or 20. Yeah, just on a boat. I was like, I gotta dance. Yeah, gotta dance. I'm gonna go to New York to dance because she didn't, you know, she wanted more opportunities. So yeah, they live in Paris. We're not really from Paris, but they live in Paris. They live in Paris. My grandparents lived in Paris up until a few years ago, and yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, my grandparents had this like kind of a home in the woods near to Paris. That's where we would go in the summers. It's so beautiful.
What were some of those like summer days consisting of at your grandparents' house?
Raspberry tarts. Raspberries from the garden. And yeah, my grandma had this beautiful garden full of flowers, apple trees, and running around the fields, building tree houses and cabins and stuff. Yeah, like so wholesome. Yeah. Picking mushrooms in the forest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like
these like really, really tasty mushrooms.
Okay.
Not like
yeah, let's say it.
Grandma.
Down my head, you tripping early.
These raspberries are so good. Yeah. Just a lot of family time. I have like a big, you know, my mom has these three sisters, and they all have, you know, a couple, like three to five kids, two to three, 3 to 5 kids each. So we were like a big family, a big load of cousins. We all just go to the farm in the summer, and we're all just like running around, getting in trouble, you know, sandboxes and wagons and stuff. It was really, really, really good.
Damn, okay, sounds legit.
It was so beautiful. Everybody should have that. Yeah. Really.
So was that your plan, like after you were done at in high school, just to go move to France?
No, I was like, I gotta get out. Period. But I actually went to Kenya for a year. I did a gap year, and around my sophomore or junior year, I like decided I'm gonna take a gap year, and I wanted to go as far away as possible and to the most colorful place I can find. And so I went. I found this like volunteer program. And I kind of wanted to go to an African country. Probably just because I love The Lion King so much. Yeah. But also because of, you know, these colors that I saw on National Geographic. And yeah. So I did. I went to Kenya. I found, you know, a project. And I did like this exchange program thing.
Really?
Cultural youth exchange program.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you go to like school out there and stuff, or what did that consist
No,
of?
it was just a year of volunteering, volunteer work, and I was teaching kids guitar and ukulele.
No way.
Yeah, it was so fun. They were so smart and so sweet, and the ground was so red and the sky was so blue, and I got the colors, and it was really, really magic.
Yeah. Was it everything? I guess if there was something like that you didn't expect before and then after being in Kenya, like was there something that surprised you at all?
It's gonna sound like probably like not what you expect, but I think like kind of one of the biggest ways that it changed me was I mean, of course, like you never take running water for granted again, but I was there like in my volunteer program. I was put in like a project in Nairobi, in the capital city, and also in Nairobi were three other German boys who were in my program. It was like international kind of thing, so there were people from mostly Germany and Austria, and a couple other European countries, and I was there with three German boys, and like we just like became really good friends. I mean, all the volunteers like were so tightly knit, but then the others kind of got scattered into like more villages and rural places, and we were in Nairobi, and every weekend we would hang out with our Kenyan friends. We would go to clubs and parties so hard, and we would travel. You know, everything is so cheap for us, and we would go traveling and go to these beautiful places, and we were just such like a group, and it's gonna sound weird, but it was like really it was like really shocking to me that I was with these guys who just liked me for me. I feel like I spent a lot of my teens and a lot of my like youth just trying to be like really hot and really beautiful and like trying to get the attention of boys, and
damn, okay.
Because I had like no self-esteem in myself as a person, so I just relied completely on like I just tried to, I guess, make my whole identity about like my looks, and it was just such a shock to like really feel like, oh my god, you actually care about me, like you don't like I don't, and I stopped wearing makeup that year, and before that I was like, I don't know, I wasn't caked, but I was kind of caked, you know. This was like what, 2010s, this was also the style. Like that was like, you know, just flying up the jaw and stuff. So yeah, that was like, that really changed me, was like to just not feel like I was just like trying to sleep with anybody. Like I wasn't trying to like
an object
anybody.
almost.
It wasn't like, it was like I just found more in myself. Like I realized I had a personality that people liked. It wasn't just, I wasn't like that I could like that people would like me for something other than my exterior, because I was just so uncomfortable in high school. I was so not myself, and you know, we have a very like this whole Instagram-y culture. It's very like out exterior, and these people I met, like my friends, these guys, they were just such good people. Like it's like a little family we had, you know. They always like, we'd just pay for each other. Like we'd go to the grocery store, one person would pay without any discussion. Like nobody was like, oh, can I Venmo you fucking 59 cents or whatever. Like people would just, it was like there was no discussion. Like it's ridiculous. Oh my god. And that really was like a huge takeaway, was just meeting these people who were like so not about that, and they didn't have that self-consciousness of that I so felt like growing up here. They were just like humans. They didn't expect me to be perfect, and it took me like a while to like accept that, and then I was never the same. And
you still keep in touch with them? Yeah.
We don't talk much now. We're all kind of scattered, but yeah, we had a really great camping trip a couple of years ago in Portugal. Like, okay. We looked on the map and we're like, that looks nice. There's green there, let's go there. So we went there and, you know, walked with a huge bag of tent and stuff, and found this nice little pine forest on the edge of the coast, and just we had to cook rice with seawater.
Yeah.
It was so salty. Never do that. It was like completely inedible. Except for our friend Conrad, he really liked it.
Alright. Duly noted.
Yeah, we've been visiting each other a bit over the years, but we have yet to reunite, you know, again in full force and do another proper adventure.
That's cool. So going back to the Kenya trip, after you finished that, come back, finish up at OSHA, but like how did that, I guess, what lasting effect, other than, you know, how the boys from Germany treated you, like what other lasting effects did that have on you, like just being in another country?
Oh man, I just could never come back here. I mean, I already was like itching to leave from so young, but it's just like really solidified it. I mean, the food is so fresh, you know. Like we don't know what a mango tastes like.
Yeah.
These mangoes in the supermarket is like not what a mango tastes like. I didn't even like bananas until I went to Kenya.
Oh.
I didn't like bananas, and then I went, and then I actually had a real banana, and now I love bananas. I eat bananas like with my dinner, like on the plate, eating with salty food.
Yeah.
Bananas are amazing, but the food was so fresh, and the people are so present, and it's so exciting. It's like everybody's talking and shouting, and it's just they're like really in the world. Like people are not numb. People are like invested in talking to each other. People need each other.
Yeah.
And that's like, it feels so good to be in that environment, you know, where people, like, we don't need each other very much here. We're like got our fridge stocked, and pantry stocked. You go to Costco, you get 5 million rolls of toilet paper, and you don't have to go outside for a month. And it's so lonely. And in Kenya, I never felt lonely. It was like I just felt like I was bringing something to people, and I needed stuff from people, and I was, I didn't get like a very big stipend. Is that stipend? Is that the right word?
I think so, yeah.
From like my government.
Yeah.
This government, the American government, to like pay for my, you know, food every month. So I was pretty poor in Kenya, and it was so nice. It was so nice to be poor and just to like accept things from people, and you know, my Kenyan friends would always like invite me to come eat at their house and cook for me, and it was just like, yeah, that was also another thing that really changed in me, was like being in that world where people are like looking up, you know, not looking down, and not with the earbuds. Oh, no earbuds, everybody's like, just there's like this humming energy, electricity in the air between everybody.
Yeah. Would you say it was like a greater sense of community?
Totally. Yeah, people need each other, and people need to be needed, and they need to feel useful in the community. It's like such a, it's I feel like it's such an essential part of happiness. To feel like you're, part of the tribe.
Makes sense.
Community, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what was your plan after, I guess, high school and finishing up that?
My plan was finishing up Kenya. Well, my plan was like I'm gonna go to Kenya and see you again. And then I actually, my mom got sick at the end of my year in Kenya. She had breast cancer, so I came home to be with her. And then after that, I kind of made a deal with myself. I'll do like 1 year of university in France. I'll go to France and do a year of college in Paris. And if I don't like it, then I will go back to Plan A, which is like travel the world with a backpack and make documentaries and about community, and I'm gonna save the world. That was my plan. Yeah.
Okay.
And that changed, but as plans do. In a good way.
Of course, yeah. So did you end up going to the University of France?
I did, yeah. Yeah, it was full of Californians. It was super weird. It was supposed to be like an international university, but everybody there was from USC. They were all like these USC exchange students.
Okay.
Like, oh no, like I was trying to leave here. Yeah, I got there and they're like, "What's up, dude?" And I was like, "What? What are you doing? What are you doing here?"
Yeah.
So yeah, but I met some nice people, and I had another couple really, really good professors. Really great painting teacher, a really great literature teacher, and who just like let me unleash my super nerd. So I got to get really passionate about projects, and I love deadlines. I miss school. I really love school. I only did that 1 year of university, and I haven't been in school since, but I miss it. It's so nice to just have like clear, like do this.
Right.
Okay. So nice to just have a guide.
Yeah, because I think you could set yourself some deadlines, but it's different unless, like, when obviously, like, the teacher sets a professor and you don't turn it in on time, you get in trouble usually, right? It's like, if you miss your deadline, it's just like, oh, well, like, you know, there's no really, like, real repercussions for it. Yeah,
I think, like, I really want to be, like, a witness by a professor, you know? I feel like it was really important for me to have, like, an older person who's not my parents see something in me and expect something from me, and for me to be able to like deliver something to somebody and for them to say good job, it's like, but mean it, you know, because like, that was like, I feel like young people really need mentors. Something so essential.
I think young people are very impressionable, right? Yeah. They need someone to look up to. And so,
and there's too much like stuff with the parents, you know, there's just too much like baggage there too. Not for everybody, but it's hard to, especially when you're quite young, you know, like 18, it's hard to have like a clean reception of like the lessons that your parents can teach you. It's hard to accept that like cleanly, but somebody who you don't have any beef with 10 years of somebody telling you to pick up your socks, like you can't, your teachers don't do that, and you can like actually take what they have to offer. And yeah, I think it's that way we were talking about that before, about like that's the real teacher's job, is like to make you understand that there's something in you worth working on, and like it's just the most beautiful gift you can give it. A youth.
There you go. So you said you only did 1 year at the university, or did you end up staying?
No, I did 1 year. I stuck out my deal to myself, and then I said, okay, nope, I would like to go and save the world with my backpack and my little feet and hands and camera. And so I went to Berlin to do like a documentary filmmaking course for 2 months. Because my plan was to travel around Europe and visit different like communities and stuff, and make a documentary about why people should live in communities and why we need that to be happy to save the world and blah blah blah. And then I went to Berlin to do this documentary filmmaking course, and I just fell completely head over heels in love with Berlin. There's just some crazy artists, and I am a crazy artist. I was like, oh, my people. And I found this big, a big studio house, like an 8-story studio house for artists. Yeah, an artist studio house where you could rent a studio. And on the first floor there was this volunteer project where people would go rescue food from the trash and then cook it and give it for donation. It sounds gross, but it's clean. So there was like free food, there was movie nights, there was a jam session every day of the week on some floor, and there were 200 artists like living in one building, and it was just nuts. It was really crazy, and parties all the time, and so much parties. And just everybody was a super nerd and super passionate, and people were like doing really crazy kinds of art. You know, there was this one girl named Alex from Spain, and she does like, you know, those what are they called? Projectors? Those like old projectors that we'd have in middle school with like the box and the thing and then the thing and then like and then you put and shine it down and project
the laminate screen.
I remember. She would like put like she would, you know, project it, and then she would put like ink and feathers and like move stuff around, and somebody else would play music live to that, doing like noise and ambient music and doing like a live set, and it was so hypnotizing to just watch all this ink and these bubbles and these things so magnified. It was amazing, you know. I saw art I never dreamed of, and people were just like slaves to art, and that's what I felt like I was. Maybe cool. A servant to art. It's like so just helplessly devoted to it. So and that was it was hard to stay away from that. I did, you know, I stayed in Berlin 2 months longer than I meant to. I was like, oh, this art, you know, house is a community. It's perfect. I can stay here and work on my documentary. But it was hard to leave, and then I left. I traveled a bit, but about 1 year later, I was like, okay, I have to move to Berlin and stay on the streets. I just got to. So I did. Now I'm a musician.
I guess, I mean, did you tell anyone that was like your plan when you moved back to Berlin, and how did that get received? I guess I did. I mean, I told my family, I was like, oh, I'm gonna be a street musician, this is it. I was like, it was one of my childhood dreams to be a street musician. Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, in Paris, when I would go to Paris when I was a kid, I would always just be like totally hypnotized by these guys in the metro playing trumpet or whatever, and echoing halls, and my cousins would always have to like go back and drag me away from them. Yeah, so I went, and my friends were all really happy. My Berlin friends were really happy for me too, to do music, and I bought myself a little amp and a little microphone stand and an electric guitar. Did I? Yes, I did. I bought myself an electric guitar for Christmas.
Yeah.
And I hit the streets, and I learned.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, so what did like a day in the life of Lizzy in Berlin as a street performer? What did that consist of?
It was different every day because I lived in this artist community for like 3 years, so I was subject to many other things. It wasn't like just wake up, make my day. It was like leave my room, you know, just like I'm sharing a floor with like 30 people and sharing bathrooms in a kitchen with like 30 people, and it was a lot about like the greenhouse. That was the name of the place. It was really special because we just had our own community, like we had our own world. It was kind of like Osho, and so and that it was just its own like self-contained bubble. So I only, I didn't bust that much. I wasn't like doing it every day. I was like hanging out every day for a lot and jamming every day. And yeah, we just kind of wake up, see what was cooking. If it looked like there was some action, I'd stick around and do something with somebody.
Yeah.
Smoke or go to the park or jam and just listen to people drone on and on about their life and some accent, and it was amazing. Yeah. Parties, there's always parties, always like events, and then sometimes I would busk. Yeah, I would go busking. So it's hard to say.
What's busking?
Busking is street performing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like the very
Yeah, street performing in general. If you paint, on the street or whatever, it's also busking. It's like this, panhandling. Is that
panhandling? I think that's different. I think that's just like asking.
Okay, yeah.
Asking?
Maybe. I don't know.
That's how it is.
Yeah.
It could be, yeah.
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 Well, yeah, I met somebody that could busk.
Nice.
And that went really well. I mean, it was really hard. It's very hard to go and impose your noise onto people in public. Yeah, with an amplifier. Amplify your noises. That's like really scary. So that kind of took me a while to be like, oh, I think you like it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that took me a while to kind of gain some confidence to just roll up and be like, I am playing music now. Like, I've arrived, people. Yeah. Get ready to listen. Yeah. Maybe not party, because this is ukulele, but...
Nice.
Yeah.
So where typically would you go? Like, it was like in front of like a big town hall or somewhere like that?
Yeah, I kind of quickly found like I'm also kind of lazy. I didn't want to like go all the way around Berlin because, oh my gosh, there's just so many places, and you like the train, you don't like drive in Berlin. It's like expensive to get a license in a car. It's a city, so you take the train, and the amplifier on the trolley, and the microphone stand, and the backpack, and the electric guitar, and everything's so heavy, so it was like kind of a hassle finding places. So once I kind of found my street, I would go like kind of cafe hopping, go play in front of maybe there were like 6 cafes on this one street, Herfurstraße, and I would go and just sing in front of each terrace and sing 3 songs and pass my hat, and then there's this big like abandoned airfield turned into a park, public park. Okay. It's called Tempelhofer, and it's just like a massive, airfield, and so it's really, really flat and huge. Sorry, I have something in my throat today. And you can see like clouds for miles and miles. It's a really beautiful spot, and there's always loads of people there. So I would go and play like at the entrance of that. That was just at the end of that little street. And in the middle of that street, there was like a little church thing. Church restaurant thing. I don't know. It was like half church, half restaurant. I don't really get it, but I would go play in front of there. There was like a little lawn, and and then I would always end my day at sunset on the field and sing there, and all the people coming in and out of the field with the bikes and babies and dogs and ice cream truck and the sunset. It was very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I miss it.
That sounds up. Did the language barrier at all like affect you?
No, Berlin is completely international.
Mm.
People hardly speak German there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not. I mean, you know, people do speak German, but it's mostly English.
Okay.
Everywhere speaks English, except for like old German bars.
Yeah.
And they will not speak English. They either like fucking learn our language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever pick up on any German or?
Yeah, I did. I did. Especially in Kenya with my German friends. They kind of like got me on the German train. German is a really funny language.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very very cutting and precise and like, really clever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's very very smart and just exacting, which I really like. So I did pick up on some German, but the greenhouse was very international, so it wasn't like a very German environment.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was only like 6 German people
Makes
in
sense.
the whole house. Yeah. But I did learn some from friends. It's just hard to learn a language without being forced to speak it.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you can speak your native language,
Mm-hmm.
like, you kind of will.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
my German is still pretty basic level.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I know like the seasons are very different in Germany. How did like what do you call it, busking?
Busking, yeah.
Busking.
Yeah.
How did busking go like in like cold winters or just like when the seasons would kind of affect?
It's cold. It's really cold. Yeah, my fingers would get really cold. And it's just not really possible for some of the year. It's not. Yeah. I had to stop. That's how it got affected. But you know, spring in Berlin is the most magical time because everybody like Berlin's freezing in the winter.
Mm.
Very very cold. It's like -4 there right now Celsius.
Mm. Yeah.
Which is very 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 cold.
Mm.
Yeah. And I think that would be. I don't know what that would be in Fahrenheit. But yeah, when the spring comes, everybody just like comes to life. Everybody's so busy in the winter. Everybody's so grumpy because it's so cold for so long and so gray and so cloudy and so dark. So when spring comes, everybody's just like so happy and so full of love, and it's like a big hippie place. There's tons of hippies, so everybody's like and dancing in the grass and stuff. And yeah, that's nice. So it's really fun to start playing again in the spring. That's the best time. Everybody's in a really good mood.
There you go.
Yeah. But yeah, winter I had to stop.
Mm-hmm.
Or just play when there's on a sunny day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were some of the other challenges of just, you know, everyday busking?
I mean, like I said, it's like really hard to, especially in the beginning. It was like I felt so like unworthy to take up the airwaves and to make noise, you know, especially because I'm busking in these terraces. So I'm just like, oh my god, these people are just trying to like, enjoy a nice coffee with their friend, and I'm coming like white girl ukulele like just all over their coffee, and like I felt so bad to like impose myself into a peaceful scene like that. And it kind of, you know, I was very like vulnerable for a time, and if like I got a couple times, you know, some grouchy lady would be like like turn it down, and I like just cried. Like I couldn't not cry. It's so like hard to, and also because my songs are like my personal journal, you know, it's like my diary. It's so intimate, and you're just like singing is so naked. It's such an intimate thing, and it's so vulnerable because you're just like, well, this is what the inside of my body sounds like when you push air through it. This is like what it's so vulnerable, and it's like very hurtful if somebody doesn't like it, which is why I think most people don't sing, because it's
intimidating.
So intimidating. And if one person when you're a kid is like, oh, stop singing, you're just like scarred for life.
Right.
I feel like most people have had that experience. They didn't have like a safe place to just make noise and let it out. So that was hard in the beginning. It was like a couple people would sometimes, you know, a neighbor would say, turn it down, or like stop playing, or somebody would just be and that like really hit me hard. I would just like but stop in the middle of the song and start crying and pack up my stuff, like, you know, my shoulders all caving in, and just walk away like so ashamed. And sometimes I would feel so ashamed to go sing that I would just like sing and then just leave. I wouldn't even pass my hat. I would just like get out of there and like, I'm so sorry, I'm not even worthy to ask you for money after what I've done. Yeah. So that was hard, but eventually like I got good. You know, you get the streets. Busking is like the best trainer for music. You get so good, and you learn how to hold a crowd. You learn how to read the people. You learn how to let go. You learn how to relax, and you get good from practicing all the time. So you're relaxed, and then eventually, like now I know I can go, and I'm like, yeah, I'm like bringing live music. What a gift! Like I'm so excited to go, and I mean it's still scary, but sometimes, and if somebody would say like you suck, I would probably still cry. But actually no, I would probably just laugh now because I know they're just so grumpy. It's like not my, you know, I know it's something in their life because I don't suck.
Well, what were some of those steps that you took to increase that confidence or just increase your comfortability while playing and performing?
I don't think I did take any. I just kept doing it.
Just kept, repetition.
Yeah, just continuing, you know, like not stopping. Just busking, and also like being in the greenhouse helped so much because I was jamming all the time. Like, it was always a jam every night somewhere. You just go among the floors or in the stairwells. There were these big echoing stairwells, you know, these 8-story like metal walls stairwells, and the echo in there was just incredible. And the lights used to turn off, and it was just pitch black with no windows. And you would go in there, and the automatic light would turn off. Just start singing in the dark, and the echo is like the most beautiful live delay reverb thing you could ever imagine.
Oh, sure.
People would like come on different floors and sit on their landings and then sing with you. And there would be like these stairwell jams. Yeah, we call them the stairwell jams, and people were always jamming in the stairs, so you could always find a jam. And that really helped because you just get used to not censoring yourself. You know. Like I really am so mind blown by rappers because like how do you get past the beginning when you're just like tripping over your words and you're saying such stupid stuff? Like it's so amazing too. Like you're so ridiculous at the beginning when you rap, you know? You're like, my name is Lizzy and I'm kind of dizzy and you know, like I'm in a tizzy. Like what else, you know? Like how do you get the? This takes so much courage. That's at least singing you can kind of hide between like. You know, you can kind of cop out, but so that helped a lot, just like getting confidence again, making noise, and just being around so much music and so much like different kinds of music. There was so many metalheads in the greenhouse. There was jazz people and you know, classical, flamenco, whatever. There was this noise ambience. It's not such a big thing here, but in Berlin it's really big. You know, people who just are like, and they're just making like frequencies and noises and this weird like really big techno and like really aggressive and reggae and a lot of like swing and you know guys with accordions and stuff, like really you know, fiddles and stuff. Double bass and just super rich environment, like a lot of different stuff.
Did you ever dabble into like other genres of music or even genres of art while you were busking?
While I was busking, I mean, in the jams, like in the greenhouse, that was where I would jam with anybody as long as I felt it, you know, as long as I, you know, there were like these proper jam sessions that would happen once a week. There would be this, it's called the Urban Bass Jam Session, and other jam sessions and Silver Place and Middle Floor. And, you know, like I don't care what kind of genre it is. I don't have a genre. I hear a melody in my head while the music is playing, and I feel it, and I go to the microphone, or I don't, and I don't. But it could be heavy metal. It could be, you know, I sang when they were playing heavy metal. I was like, I feel it. I'm gonna go sing on top of this, and you know, or if it was like flute beatbox, like I don't know, it was so many different kinds of stuff. There you go.
So how long did you get to spend in Berlin while busking?
I was in Berlin. Actually, like, I only came here for Christmas last year. I got stuck with the coronavirus. And then I was like, well, you know, as long as this is going on, I might as well record an EP, because I found a producer here who I liked, and it was really good. So yeah. But I technically still live in Berlin. Like, I have a flat. And I have like all my stuff there, instruments and cushions and nice lamps. Oh, I miss my lamps so much. And my plants. Oh my god, they must be all dead. I don't know if my friends can take care of them. They're all like cacti too. But even I was struggling to keep those guys alive. Yeah. So I still live in Berlin, but I moved to Berlin. I went the first time in 2016. And then I was like, I'm going to be a street musician. 2017. Moved there in 2017. And then, so I've been there since 2017 up until Christmas last year. So it's like a good solid 3-4 years.
Dang, okay.
Yeah.
That's crazy,
Yeah.
No, with Berlin, there's a lot of places in history, and like, one place I've always wanted to visit is like Auschwitz, and like some of the other concentration camps that are still there. Have you ever gotten a chance to do any exploration? No.
I'm pretty lazy. I just stayed in the greenhouse. It's like 8 stories of 200 psychopaths to discover. Like, I didn't go anywhere else. I haven't like seen one touristy thing in Berlin.
Okay. Right.
Only like by accident. Sometimes people were like, oh, if you want to go see the wall, you should go that way. I'm like, what? Is the Berlin Wall around here? And they're like, yeah, you've never seen the wall. And I'm like, it just kind of happened by accident. Like, oh, there it is. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Like, see a monument from afar, but I never, I just lived in the greenhouse. It was like a slightly outside of the city, just like like a 10-minute bus ride out from the last stop on like one train line, one of the train metro lines, subway. There we go. So it was pretty isolated and kind of in like an industrial area, which was nice because we could make a lot of noise and play really late and have these crazy parties. Like, just like, there would be these techno parties that would like just shake my windows, I was like living on the 4th floor for most of the time I was there, and you're just going to sleep like like every Friday night. It's crazy. It's so loud. But yeah, we didn't have any neighbors around, so people could play loud and party hard. And, yeah, it was great.
Yeah. So how was it moving back to California, I guess? Not even moving back, just coming back to visit. And just like, overall, the culture adjustment.
It was hard because I'm an ungrateful little, I don't know, I'm kind of a brat, I'm kind of like, it's better in Berlin, and like, you have to go see some culture, and like, people in Orange County are so close-minded. I'm like, ugh, get over yourself, I'm starting to, and I've met people, and I'm like, you're just a person, like, you're not a Newport dude, you're not a this dude, you're just a person, we're all like just people, and like, it is hard to be back in the beige boxes, and like all these SUVs and like, cars are so big, and it's all just like, you spend half your life here looking for parking, like, it's so like, it's weird, and I miss it out there. I really just, it's just so different. It's just so different and so, but it's been good for me because, like, I was like kind of afraid to come back, because I was like such a loser for so long here, and it took me like 4 years of being in Berlin to like kind of be cool. And to get cool, and then once I started being good at music, everyone was like, "Wow, you're so cool," and I'm like, "What? Me? I'm a loser. I sing Disney songs." Like, and it's been like really interesting to come back here. And people are like, oh, like, music and stuff. And I thought, like, I would come back here and be, like, a loser from high school again. It's, like, not the case. And it's been really nice to just come back. Because I'm not in high school anymore. I'm 25. But it's just been, like, nice to come back, like, settled in myself. And, like, not be this same person I used to be when I was growing up here. Who was, like, so self-conscious and trying so hard to, like, impress boys and trying to just like just so fake. I was so fake and so like you can just feel when people are like self-conscious and like afraid to take up this space of their body. And I still feel like that a bit because I live in Newport Beach. Well, my dad lives in Newport Beach and I'm at his house, and people look very fancy. He's got nice sweaters and cars and stuff, and I'm kind of like, I find all my clothes. Like,
yeah. Oh, okay.
I find all my clothes.
Like thrifting
I find all my no, like in the streets. Like,
okay.
I find like clothes come to me. Like people give me clothes. I don't.
Yeah.
Like, all my clothes, sweaters with holes in them, stains on them. This one has a stain on it. Somebody gave me this like this week. I think this sweater is so beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, it's got a thing too there.
Yeah, little.
Oh, we have another spot. I want to like patch a little something onto it, but I don't want it to be a star and I don't want it to be a heart. So those are kind of cheesy. So I'm kind of thinking what I should patch. Yeah. I've been like surrounded by so many hippies for so long who all just look like dirt poor that I'm very snotty about like, wealthy people.
Yeah, but I think that's cool because I feel like at least here in Orange County and like I feel like other like big urban areas like people look down on hippies. People look down on just like even like what is a hippie, right? Like I feel like there's so many
dirty hair.
Like, there's a wide range of hippies, right?
Yeah.
But I just feel like from what your experience and you're just telling me all this, like you seem really happy. You seem like you're really yourself. I think that's super cool. Like even the other day I was talking about how like witches and like brujeria is like something in Spanish or Mexico. But it's always been labeled as bad, but like really like brujeria and like witches, they're like more in tune with like their astrological signs, but also just like different, like it just like sense people's auras and they can read the room better. And it's just like, that doesn't sound like a bad thing, you know, like why did witches and hippies get like kind of a negative connotation, you know?
Because their hair is dirty.
But like, is that it, you know? Like, come on, you can't deal with a little dirty hair?
Yeah. My hair was really dirty for a long time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I like stopped brushing it and got dreads and everything. I went down that whole, such a stereotype, but early 20s, you know? Like,
yeah.
Oh man,
yeah.
it looked so bad on me. I can't believe it. Oh, incredible. Yeah. Sorry, I kind of just blanked on everything you said. Hippies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do you think there's such a negative connotation now on hippies?
Oh, well, because Hollywood is full of non-hippies and everybody in the world watches Hollywood, so it's not mainstream. But now it's getting mainstream. Well, not hippies, but witches. Witches is getting mainstream. And kind of hippies and, you know, chocolates.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, a lot of that like Eastern culture stuff and everything.
Yeah, so, you know, but,
Yeah, because I think people are realizing being stuck in this rat race of like always.
Well, yeah, and people are burning out.
Yeah,
that's especially it. People are burning themselves out, and everybody's parents have cancer, and that's like been a big wake up call for people. Like, ooh, this is not good.
Yeah, and it's like at the end of the day, like, what do you? You mean like what do you like you said with the car thing? It's just like. I love my car, but like I don't need anything bigger and more than that. Like that was my dream car.
That car?
Yeah.
But it's so lovely. It's like a nice car.
Yeah, it is. It's nice. I guess, but like I don't know. Yeah, it has like my nice little.
My dream car too.
But like I guess I remember like when I was in college, I had a friend, and she was like, "Oh, like what's your dream car?" And I was like, "Oh, like a 2004 Mustang." And she's like, "That's it?" And I was like, "Yeah, like that's it," you know. Yeah. And I think a lot of times like. Especially growing up in here, even like growing up in like Santa Ana, Orange, Anaheim area, like people are always like wanting like too much, right? And like you're talking about the car thing, like the other day I saw a car, like it was I was driving on the freeway and it was like pretty congested. It wasn't like bumper to bumper, but it was pretty slow. And it's like there's this like nice Mustang GT, like a newer version of like my car, you know, probably has a V8 engine and you know some. It sounded really loud, but I'm just like, where are you gonna like drive that? You know, like that. You're just wasting gas and like sitting in this slow ass traffic.
Yeah,
you know, like that's
it's so silly. Like,
yeah, but it's just I think it's more of like an ego thing because I know a lot of people my age. It's like, oh, like you gotta have the bigger engine or the bigger sounding car or the bigger truck.
Yeah. And
it's just like, what for though? Like
we're both at the same red light. Like what? You know? Yeah. You're like gunning it as soon as the light turns green, and then we're at the same next red light. Like you know, I don't know. It's. I was talking about this with my brother because he was like, "Yeah, but cars can be an art, you know, too." And
it is, yeah,
absolutely. But like, do you have a nice car because cars is like your calling, or if it's like a sincere thing, or is it just to fill the void of you not following your soul's calling? And I feel like if more people had their own, I've been talking about this lately with my friend. It's like everybody needs a baby. If it's like my music, my art is my baby. It's like something that needs me. Only I can give it life. Yeah, it's my.
Yeah.
And it can be a literal baby too. Like some people, not everybody's destined, or should feel the pressure to have a destiny to be some, like rock star or great creator or whatever. Like some people are just maybe like their destiny is to be like an amazing mom.
Yeah.
Create an amazing person, and then that person will go and make whatever.
Yeah.
And I just feel like everybody needs a baby. Everybody needs something, and if they don't have it, they might just like consume cars and Netflix and porn and all this stuff.
Kardashians.
Oh, it's so toxic.
Very.
Oh, it's so super deadly, Oh, I didn't have a smartphone the last like 5 years, and now I'm back on Instagram, and I'm just like scrolling through all this shit all day. I'm like looking at these girls going, I'm like, oh, why am I putting this in my brain? Like, I don't want to watch this, but it's so addictive. And I'm like, yeah, do that fucking thing. Like, oh, it's so gross. Ugh.
No, I feel that though. The other day, today's Sunday, so Sundays I get my like weekly report of like how much time I spent, and Wednesday was my last day at work, so Thursday and Friday I had the day off, and my weekly report was like average was so much higher than weeks past because of those 2 days I had off. So usually my average is like 5.5. My average this week was 9, or like I totaled 9 hours.
Hours, like a day?
Was it a day? Yeah, I think it was 9 hours a day. Yeah. So like usually it's 5 hours a day, and that was 9 this week. So I was like really ashamed of myself, but I was just like, damn, like like just because I don't have work, does that mean like I'm falling back into like these cycles?
It's just so bad, like having access to all this stuff all the time. Like, have you ever like lost all your stuff, or like you lost like your bag, or your stuff got stolen, and you're just like going home with nothing, or like you just. Like, you ever get stuck somewhere and you don't have anything, and you're just like, you have only your body and your clothes on you, and that's it. Like, no phone, no keys, no wallet, and whatever. Like, you have no way
I've been
out.
like hiking, like in far out places where there's no reception and shit,
Like, that stuff is so good.
Yeah.
I feel so alive and happy. I've been like robbed, I don't know. I had my stuff stolen, not like at gunpoint, but like, I think that's why I don't say robbed, but, or I hesitate to say robbed, but, I've like had a couple times where I like lost all my stuff, and I'm just like walking home, and I'm so alive. I'm just like, like I'm free, and I'm like, I just feel like I'm an angel or something. I feel like I'm a, one of these like acid trip, like psychedelic fractal things, just like walking on water, like back home. Everything feels so.
It's a crutch. I know, like during Thanksgiving break, I went to the DMV. And I remember, like, I was like, oh, like, I'm going to put on this podcast and just throw my headphones in. And, like, I remember seeing everyone on their phones. I was like, like, look at them off on their phones. And, like, even though I wasn't, like, on my phone, like, screen-wise, I'm still listening to something and, like, not being present, you know? And it's just like, damn, okay, even I'm not, like, truly being there,
Yeah. I mean, it's hard, because who wants to... I mean, the DMV can be really interesting. If you look around and you just think, like, this is weird, like, people sitting in a room, like everybody's just waiting for a number. I don't know. It's really trippy sometimes.
And the people there, man. The people who work there, it's like, man. I think there's Zootopia. Did you ever see the movie Zootopia?
No.
No, but like there's a depiction of like they go to their DMV and it's like a sloth working, and I was like, that's it. That's the DMV.
That's so funny. Like it's just hard to produce when you're consuming stuff all the time. Like, it's really hard. Like my most productive like times have been like in this when I go to my grandparents' home in France, and it's just like in the woods, and there's no Wi-Fi, and it there's just silence. Like I really find that silence is so essential, and not like doing stuff all the time, just doing nothing. This is people don't do nothing anymore. And you like after about 10 minutes of doing nothing, you're like better. You're just so much better. There's all this stuff leaves your body and leaves your mind, and I feel so like bad about myself after I'm on Instagram and I look at all these pretty girls and I'm like, God, I'm so ugly and I'm so old and I'm so.
But a lot of times they're so fake too.
I know, and I'm amazing. Why should I be thinking that? Why should I be wasting my time thinking that? Like, oh my gosh, I can bring so much, and I'm wasting what I can bring because of all this stuff I put in my face. It's
Mm-hmm.
food, you know. It's brain food. It's like your diet. Like, what use is being vegan if you watch porn?
Yeah.
You know, like that is not a spiritual diet. That is,
yeah.
that's dirty.
True.
That's,
Yeah. Very.
that's so bad. It makes you feel so sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it leaves marks in your heart.
Mm-hmm. And it corrupts your, at least for like, especially from a guy's perspective, I can say it corrupts your
Yeah.
vision of like women and like your intentions with them, for sure.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I was like, who said this? Okay, so I follow a lot of like, it's an evil plot to like control the world people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have a lot of friends like that, and you know, conspiracy friends and stuff like that. And one of them was saying that I can't remember who, but they were saying like that porn, like part of the plot of porn is like to make men get used to watching other men have sex with girls. It's like cuckolding them. You know what a cuckold is? It's like when it was a Robin Hood term. It was like when a man's woman gets sexed by another man.
Oh, okay.
Or something. It's like your woman gets stolen or whatever. And it's like, I don't know, it like takes something away from men to I can't remember, I'm kind of paraphrasing weirdly here, but or blindly I guess, because I don't remember what the point was, but yeah. And also like it took me so long. I learned about sex from porn, and I was a porn star for the first like 10 years of having sex, or 5 years at least, of just like acting like those girls I saw and moaning like those girls I saw and doing what those girls did, and then I made love for the first time, and then like, I could see clearly now, you know, and I was like, this is, it was just such a different thing, you know, and it's so like being on autopilot when you have sex, just like trying to be like, you know, yeah, baby, and like, take it. It's like, it's so bad because you're like fusing with somebody,
right.
You know, you're finally not alone, you're becoming one. It's magic. It's so so holy, and it's like such a treasure, and it's so
like, it's intimate. It's super intimate.
Yeah, it's like the most intimate thing you could do is to become one, and you like being on autopilot while you do that with your body is so like that really hurt me. After a while I realized like I was so hurt from that, and I couldn't actually have sex for like a year or something because I had like pain in my vagina when I would have sex because of all this like trauma of just having like casual sex with like my friends and just to do it, and I was like, that like really broke my heart, even though I couldn't admit it to myself, because I was like, I'm a free woman, you know, like sexual equality or whatever, but like that is complete BS. Like I don't believe in that anymore. I feel like it's so sacred, and it's so, it just does a lot more to you than you think it does, and lingers, you know, all these like sexual encounters, they linger around you like
yeah, well, I think that's what like someone explained to me the other day is like you're exchanging energy, you know, and like sometimes you can feel that partner's energy, that you can feel the energy of the partners they've been with too, right? So it's not just like you and that one person, it's you and any person they also been with too. So it's kind of like and I don't know, I never looked at it that way, but you know, I don't know, it's something I'm like trying to look more into. You know, for sure. It definitely starts with like cutting off porn. You know, I feel like again, it's just bad. You know,
it's hard. You know, it's hard because it's really addictive.
Yeah.
But it's just so like so. Well, so sad. Makes me want to cry just thinking about it.
And what I think too is sad is like when I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about how like kids who grew up in like 70s, 80s, like their first experiences with porn is like a magazine. It's like a nude still photo. Sure, it's very graphic, but like, you know, to a certain extent, like that's not gonna like really deteriorate your brain. But think like, so like that was a 9-year-old back in the 80s, right? But like a 9-year-old now, if they come across like some hardcore porn thing on the internet, really like that could really like, that could scar that like 9-year-old's perception of like sex and just the relationship with like
Yeah.
not even just women, because like what if they come across gay porn or orgies or whatever?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like it could just do really a number.
Person, you know?
Yeah.
We're just like.
You could do a number on them.
Yeah, and women to men too. It's not
Yes.
just men treating women like objects. Women are just like, oh, I just want like a big dick, and
Yeah.
like just like rail me, like like just like an object, you know?
Yeah.
And all these, like, it's so sad, you know, when you see like women saying these things like, oh, like I just want like a huge like mega dildo because it doesn't have all the like problems that comes with a man. It's like, oh, you know, like there's the whole person there, you know, like the whole heart and the whole. And yeah, it's and also, you know, like there's a whole like argument about, you know, that like you can't judge what people do in bed, and like if you want to do this really crazy kinky stuff, like, and I can see, you know, but I feel like at the same time as food can be an addiction, drugs can be an addiction, internet can be an addiction, I feel like those extreme like those extreme categories of sex that go into really dark places, like maybe they're, you know, they can be cathartic for some people, but it can also be like an addiction of getting it's like the high of going off a roller coaster, you know. It's like this. And I was talking to my dad's girlfriend about this the other day. We were talking about like control and submission, and this because I have a Christian friend who's been like really, like, I've had so many conversations with him this year. It's been a huge influence on me. And he was talking about like submission to God, and he was saying like people need obedience, like people need to submit to something because they just go out of whack if they don't, you know, like they'll just keep pushing the edges until they go into these crazy spirals. And I was talking to her about sex, and I was saying like that I felt like I have, you know, the times when I had been like choked or had kind of rough sex or something, and sorry, felt like I felt like I needed to be choked until I died. Like I felt like it wasn't ever enough. It was like just keep until I pass out. Like it wouldn't be enough roughness until I was like until I died. It felt like it needed to go that hard, and it was like I saw kind of at some moment how it wasn't about like flirting with the edge. It was like I could see how I just needed to go all the way into some, it was like a dark need for it's like another kind of form of just killing myself, you know, the same way that I have, you know, I struggle with actually less now, but I've struggled with food over the years, and like eating so much food, and sometimes I just want to like hurt myself. I want to stop. Like I can't. Or like I would get so stoned. I used to get so stoned or get so fucking drunk, and it was like this. I just want to hurt myself because it hurts so much to be alive, and I'm so bad. You know, I have these thoughts, and it hurts so much to exist, and it was like this need to annihilate. Yeah, it was just really dark. So I feel like, you know, I meet a lot of people who are like all sexual freedom advocates, but at the same time, like, is that really coming from a genuine place, or is that a place like a need to self-sabotage, to hurt, to, you know? So yes, that's my thoughts on that.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
I think just to kind of wrap like, what do you call it? Tie a bow on that. It's just like, it definitely gets overwhelming sometimes, and it is easy to go to like whatever people use, whether it is drugs, sex, porn, whatever. Like people find a cop out to a lot of things, or like a bad outlet. But I just think it's like, I don't know, like as you get older, at least in my experience, like as I've gotten older, I've learned like better ways to go about handling those mood swings, or those like, you know, those like really highs and really lows.
That's really good.
Yeah, because it can be challenging sometimes, for sure.
Yeah,
you know, to always like hard. You know, my family, my dad's side is like there's a lot of addicts, you know, and so it's like I get really scared. There was a good chunk of my life from like 22 to 24, like I didn't want to touch alcohol because like I saw it got really bad at home. Where I was like, I can't be around this because like what if that becomes me? Yeah. You know, just casually drinking with friends, and I turn into this monster. You know. Yeah. So I was really scared for a little bit, and but it's just all part of the process, I guess. You know, just kind of keep finding different outlets, and different things to kind of make yourself happy in those low moments.
Well, I mean, look at you now. Like,
Yeah,
you've got this beautiful outlet. Like, this is so...
No, it's
like,
super dope,
Yeah, and it's so, like, you're doing this, you know? Like, nobody's forcing you to do this. You're doing this because you want to, and this wouldn't exist without you. Like, it's so special, and
appreciate that.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Like, you're, like, following, you know, like, an impulse in you, and I feel like the more we follow those, like, those desires and those callings, the less we buy the cars, the less we do the porn, the less we need to be choked until we black out. Like, you know, like, you know, we don't, it's, I feel like that's what, like, the girl who I was trying to, like, eradicate with weed and alcohol and food and sex and violence, it was like that was, the violence was directed towards this person who was not doing all the things she wanted to do.
Right.
And like once I started doing these things that are like these dreams I have, you know, they're so precious and delicate and beautiful, and it's like so scary to do them because it's like as sincere as a baby. Like my dreams are as just so what's the word, like so tender and so earnest, and if they were to be punctured by the world, I would die of heartbreak if that would happen. So it's really hard to like give them attention because they're so vulnerable. But if you don't give them the attention, like
it just builds up.
Yeah,
you know?
and
you become like a
you hurt
teapot,
yourself,
you know, and
as punishment. I felt like I was hurting myself as punishment for not living that most purest truth of me. So yeah, it's like kind of deadly to not be yourself.
Yeah,
it's very dangerous.
That's a big. I mean, I've never been to other countries, but I just feel like it's a big common problem here. You know, a lot of people struggle to do that. If you ask them what they really liked or what they're super passionate about, I think a lot of people would struggle to answer that even. You know, they truly don't know.
And especially because like I was so lucky to be raised by parents who didn't tell me to be quiet when I was singing, you know, or who didn't like laugh at me when I sang a wrong note, or who didn't like look at my drawings and say, ugh, you know, like I was in an environment where I could make mistakes, and as a child, it's really hard as an adult to find that space where you can experiment and not judge yourself so harshly for failing. Children don't judge themselves as harshly for failing as adults do. And it's not even failing, it's just
messing up.
One step of the
ladder.
ladder.
No,
it's
like
just,
no one gets it right away.
It's just a step. You know, it's just a journey. It's not. So that's really like a precious gift from my parents, was to be like raised in that a cocoon. Bring forth what is within you, young Padawan.
That's super dope. All right, so going back more to the music stuff, I've seen you done like the Sadie sessions, IGTV, and YouTube and everything. But I guess, how else have you kind of adapted to life with COVID and pursuing your music career?
You know, it kind of came at a good time for me because Berlin is so distracting. It's just full of incredible musicians, so much good music, and like I said, nobody's on Instagram. Everybody's just like living in the moment. So I was just living in the moment for the last 4 years, just kind of like not really thinking about putting out an EP. I mean, I was thinking about it because people were like, put out a thing, da da da, and I was just like overwhelmed by the options. You know, there's half my friends are producers, and you know, they're all like, you can record me, and I'm like, who do I think? And it was hard to just have enough like time to just know where to start, and also because I just spent 4 or 5 years, like just 6, 7 years, you know, with Kenya and everything, just writing music. So it was hard to know where to start with what songs, because I had this huge like repertoire that I grew. And coming here, and then COVID hitting was really good because I just had a lot of time to like organize this big catalog of songs that I had written, and I've been working on a cool project. Which, yeah.
There you go. Do you have a name or title for the project yet or no?
It's called The Vamp.
It's a Vamp. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. I'm also working on a collection of songs, an EP. It's not an EP, it's a collection of songs. I don't know.
Okay.
It was never meant to be an EP. But that's coming out soon. In a couple months. Just have to finish a cello and a couple other things.
Ooh.
Yes. And then, but then, like, behind that, you know, after that, is The Vamp. Yes, that's a big, very ambitious, creative undertaking, which I'm very excited about. So I've spent a lot of my year just recording demos of songs and putting them together. I'm really into, like, concept album, you know, story albums, and that's what The Vamp is like big story songs, which actually talk about everything I've just talked about, you know, growing up in Orange County, feeling oppressed, and leaving and seeing life and colors and love and sex and hurting myself and finding myself and then walking in the true Lizzy and not needing to hurt myself.
Makes
more,
sense.
Yeah. And kind of, you know, thinking more about like God and magic and this is really happening and I'm really here and like, oh my God, how is this real? Just so that's what that is about. All those kind of songs, like each song was kind of like a diary entry in a way, and then I was kind of able to like organize them into this story. Yeah, I'm really excited to release that story.
There you
one
go.
Day.
Nice.
Yeah.
Any other plans before you move back to Berlin after, other than, you know, working and finishing on that EP?
Well, my friend today just asked me if I want to go play a wedding with him in Arizona in August. So I don't know. I don't know where I'm going to be in August. But if I'm here, that's the plan.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. I'm going to Mexico at the end of the month. I got a gig in Mexico.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then this month? Or
yeah.
Okay.
The end of this month.
So like a few days.
Yeah, like I'm going in like a week. I'm going to Cancun. I can't believe that. Yeah,
That's
somebody
cool.
who saw me play in the street in Berlin like 2 years ago thought of me for some, I don't even understand what kind of a concert it is, but it's like for people of some hotel. I don't know, but so
there you go.
Getting a free trip to Mexico.
That's dope. Oh yeah.
Or actually a paid trip to Mexico. It's free and then plus money. So
look at
yeah.
you.
Yeah, I'm so
That's
excited.
fucking dope.
Yeah, it is so dope. Yeah,
All right.
crazy.
Yeah.
Like, go look at the fishes. I'm so excited. I've never been snorkeling, but when I was a kid, I wanted to be a scuba diver, so I'm
Okay.
gonna go live my childhood dream. So that's a plan.
Nice.
And then I'm gonna do my, finish doing my EP artworks, and then finish this cello thing and another thing. Have my little vacation in Mexico. I'm getting a one-way ticket, so
Nice.
I like to live dangerously.
I can sense that. Yeah. I kind of got the.
Yeah, I was like, I really shouldn't do this, but I'm gonna do it anyways. I just don't want the pressure of a return ticket. So
Okay.
yeah,
Very cool.
and then I would like to record some like live sessions of my dad's music. His music is so good, and he's just a hopeless artist, just in his artist cave, not putting anything out there. No, not a scrap of businessman in him. So nobody knows his musical, and you know, he's like, it's not perfect. And I'm like, okay, I understand because I'm the same way, and that's why I haven't put out any music yet. But like, people need this music.
At a
People
certain
need
time,
it. Yeah, and the world needs it. You know, it's not even like it's just such good music. People need it. There's not a lot of good musicals anymore. Most musicals are very cheap.
Do you like Hamilton?
I didn't see it.
Okay,
My dad said it was great though.
That's the only musical I've seen. So.
Yeah. Did you like it?
I
Musicals are too
enjoyed
much.
it. Yeah, I would say musicals are hard for me.
Yeah, they're much. They're a lot.
If you're not into that.
Yeah.
I did enjoy it. I did enjoy it because it was about a historical person, and I'm a big history nerd, so
Oh, nice.
I did like that.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm.
History's awesome.
Yeah. Well, before we wrap things up, I do like to ask these fun, like introspective, outside the box kind of questions
Yeah.
to kind of help the listener know you a little bit more.
Okay.
If you could talk to any person in history, dead or alive, who would you want to talk to?
Oh, I'm so bad at this question. Who? Yeah, I would like to, as I said, I've got this Christian friend who's been very influential to me this year, and I, like I said, I've come out of Berlin. Like, Berlin is just all hippies. It's all this chakra, third eye, like, we are God, everything is God, and I've been, like, all on that train for the last few years, the last 3-4 years, is like, I am a God, realizing the God of myself, and living as a God, and the universe is observing itself and creating itself, and like, we are the creator, the createe, like the creation and the observer of the, I don't know, like, all this and that. And then recently I've started, bringing this idea has come back into my life of, like, no, but also God is like a person, not just that we're all God, but like God is a separate personality who you could talk to and who understands you and who likes you, even though you're such a piece of crap. Well, not really, just you do bad things, and that's, like, been really cool to start exploring that idea again. Like, as I said, I grew up, I didn't say this, but I grew up Catholic, and I grew up singing in my home choir, and I kind of was like, what? Like, gay people can't get married, this is garbage, and I had this whole, like, I'm an atheist hiatus, and then the whole, like, everything's God, hippie hiatus, and now I'm kind of coming back to, like, okay, well, I don't know. And John Coltrane was, what was it, A Love Supreme? He had this album called A Love Supreme. And I would love to just talk to him, it's about God, and it's about, like, Christianity, and I would love to talk to him about that.
Okay.
Because I feel like I really feel that love supreme, like, there is something.
There you go.
Yeah, maybe that's the first thing that came to mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you could be reincarnated to any animal, what would you want to be reincarnated as? A cow?
Yes.
Okay.
Just see grass or a flying squirrel. I feel like those are my two spirit animals.
Okay.
Yeah, probably a flying squirrel though. Actually, that'd be so fun. Oh, that'd be so cool.
Yeah, jumping from tree to tree.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. If you could have any toppings on a pizza, what would they be?
All the vegetables.
Okay.
Every vegetable, and then pumpkin, beet. Goat cheese,
okay.
spinach, kale, yeah, mushrooms.
Okay.
So many mushrooms.
Okay.
Yeah, veggie pizza to the max.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah.
If you were stranded on an island and food and water are provided, what are 3 things you'd like to bring to pass the time?
Oh. Guitar, piano, community, a whole 100 people. Can that count? I don't know.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, a phone so I can, like, share the music with the world, because I really feel now, like, art, the final step of art needs to be shared.
Yeah.
Because people need it.
Yeah.
It's food, soul food.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I love being alone. I love being, like, totally isolated in the nature, but if I was there for the rest of my life, I think I would. And one of the objects could be, like, smartphone plus Wi-Fi box.
Yeah, you can package things.
Okay,
People
cool.
have, like, said, studio equipment. I'm just like, just do that as one.
Yeah. Ooh. Maybe, like, studio full of instruments and very good equipment, and, like, means to share it with the rest of the world. But I would be so lonely. I don't know. Ooh, paper. A lot of paper. Okay, scratch this. Okay, paper. If I had to be alone for the rest of the world, I can't package Wi-Fi box and potential to share it. Paper and pencils, like, unlimited supply. Oh, and painting stuff. I love to paint.
Okay.
Canvases, paints, brushes. Guitar, ukulele, piano, bass amp, loop station. Well, this is a hard question. I don't know. I would probably.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
We can kind of divvy up the 3. But would you listen?
Yeah. Some contact lenses would be nice. Like,
yeah.
snorkel. I went to go get contact lenses today from Costco this morning. I think we. So I can go snorkeling.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I didn't know you
can't
needed.
snorkel with glasses.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that would be cool. I can go look at the fishes in the deserted island.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, and then last question: if you could give any advice to your younger self, what would it be?
Stop dressing like a hoe. Oh my goodness. like wear some normal clothes. Like calm down, you know.
Mhm.
Go play guitar. Like take off those shoes. They're so uncomfortable.
Mhm.
I don't know. I guess it was a phase I needed to go through. I don't know if I would be myself today without that.
Okay.
So I probably wouldn't give myself any advice. I would just.
Yeah. There you go.
But I don't know. Yeah. If I could give advice to any other young person, just be like
Stop dressing.
your
like-
baby. Yeah. Stop dressing like oh no.
Yeah.
Like who's your baby? What is
Yeah.
your baby?
Mm.
And you won't be happy until you're living for your baby. And it doesn't matter. Your baby could literally just be cooking dinner for your family.
Yeah.
Like taking care of your family. It
Right.
could
That's
be
your
like
thing. Yeah.
doing laundry and making a nice life for some people. It can
Yeah.
be any kind of size, big or small. It can be like taking care of somebody in a wheelchair. It can be like a garden.
Yeah.
But what do what do you love? Follow your bliss. What was that, Joseph Campbell? Follow your bliss. Oh, 3 great words. Yeah. Follow your bliss and get turn off the internet. Literally change your password. Tell somebody to change your password and don't let them tell you what it is and take a month off.
Mhm.
A day even is so good for you.
There was a movie
No.
called Ready Player One. Have you ever seen it?
Ooh, I actually just read the book and Ready Player 2, the book. Don't read the second book.
Okay.
It's good.
I don't know if they do it in the book, but I know in the movie it was cool how when they win the game, because it was kind of like a similar concept, right? Where like people were so obsessed with this game that they wouldn't live real life.
Yeah.
They were always in the game. That when those two people won, they come from like the poor community. They banned it like for 2 days of the week, right? Like I think Sundays and
Really?
Wednesdays or
Oh.
something like that. It was
That's cool.
that's
That
what they-
wasn't in the book, but that's a nice.
yeah. They
addition
said that in the
to
movie where it's like, oh, we're gonna ban it from these 2 days, so you
Mm.
have to be present. And I was like, oh, that'd be so cool. Like if we could get
Honestly.
everyone on board, but like there's no way. But I would love to like do something
Yeah.
like that. You know, just like Sundays and Thursdays, no phones. You know?
Truly, it's so.
Yeah.
It's so good to not have all your,
Yeah, it'd be
not be so
powerful.
free.
Yeah.
Like, we have too much freedom. It's not good to have so much. So much freedom is not good for you. It's too much pressure.
Right.
You don't know how to handle it. It's good to like have things,
Mhm.
not have so many options all the time. Just like
Mhm.
there's crunchy peanut butter or smooth. That's it. There's
Yeah.
not like a million varieties, and you're just
Yeah.
you're forced to pick.
Well, there used to be that peanut butter and jelly together in the same thing.
Oh.
Remember that? You don't remember that?
No,
I didn't like it.
What kind of jelly you use? Strawberry?
I think so, right?
And grape.
I think Smuckers maybe.
Grape?
Yeah.
Oh man, those. I don't think I could ever eat one of those little UFO sandwiches again, but I think they're so good. The Smuckers, like little pressed edges.
Oh yeah, the Crustables.
Oh, those are so good. I mean, at least
Yeah.
in my memory. I don't want to ruin my memory
Yeah,
by
yeah.
having another one now and then this is chemical
This is
warfare.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
before you go ahead and plug anything you'd like to promote, social media, YouTube, whatever you.
Ooh, I put out a live session.
Mhm.
I put out a live session a couple days ago called "Darling, You Belong to Me." That's the name of the song. It's on YouTube and Instagram. That's a lovely song.
Okay.
And then I've got a non-EP, EP collection of songs thing coming out in I don't know, a couple months. I need to figure that out. That's it, I guess.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, thank you again. For
Yeah.
being
No,
part of the
thank you
show.
so much for having me. And
Yeah.
Yeah. So lovely.
Awesome.
Thanks for doing this.
Yeah. of
Following your
course.
bliss.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, cameraman.